Hey guys, so today's training or this video is really going to be about the 5 non-negotiables. This is something I learned about a year ago from some leaders in our company that I've had tremendous success and really was an eye-opening thing when I heard their training. Something that I really bought into and started doing and saw a significant impact over the course of not only a couple of months, but I look at the last year of doing this daily exercise, what a difference. Really the premise behind these 5 non-negotiables, I think, most people, when they get started in their business, they see a lot of opportunities or, their customers, brand partners happen early on. It happen, what they won't probably realize is happening with only probably about 5 to 10% of their potential audience, right? And so what the 5 non-negotiable does is really puts effort and activity daily on the 95% of your audience that at some point in time you knew, but you haven't really reconnected with, right? It's kind of what I call lukewarm market versus warm market, and you have your cold market, which is just strangers, right? And, I had been in the industry for probably 2.5 to 3 years and felt like I kind of weathered through my audience, and in the event that I really haven't, maybe my 5 to 10%, but the largest part of my potential audience, people that I grew up with, I went to high school with, college with, played sports with, worked with, ties to kids, activities, groups, careers, all those things, people have done business with. I mean, when you think about it, you really blow your mind at how many people we really have rubbed shoulders with, right? I just think about how many people I graduate with, how many people were a year below me or a year above me that I knew, and we knew of each other. And it's, we really can push the walls out to build a bigger audience when we really kind of put some effort and focus and intentionality into it. And so that's something I wasn't doing consistently. This exercise really kind of drove me to start doing and realizing that I hadn't reached out to way larger percentage of people than I had already reached out to. So, the key though is when I heard this training is I realized I was connected to lots of people on Facebook. I didn't really have a lot of connection. So that 5 to 10% of that audience where we see a lot of our activity come from initially are people that we do have connections with. We work with them on a daily basis. They live in our neighborhood. They play with our kids. We go to school with whatever. They're people you're constantly interacting with. But that 90% plus people that at one point in time you had a connection with, some sort of relationship with, but you haven't touched it in years, right? And so to go to that group and share what you want to share falls on deaf ears if it's just kind of a dry spell of years of any communication. So this daily exercise really taught me that lukewarm market, not cold, they're not strangers, they knew of you, you knew of them, and it's been so far and few between since the last time we talked to them. It's lukewarm, and it's got to be warmed up before when you want to share things about what you're doing. It's going to be a lot more well received when you're sharing it on top of now an ongoing conversation, some dialogue, and you've kind of established a little bit of relationship. When you throw it out there directly cold, the law of averages and conversion rate are very, very minimal, right? Easy to get discouraged off those type of conversion rates. So these 5 non-negotiables will help you over time take that lukewarm market and make it warm. Think about that. Most of your business probably has only come from 5 to 10% of what your total audience is. So you've got 90% that you probably haven't really successfully tapped into properly, which means that your business can grow 9 times what it is, if not more. And you never know what's in that 90% there too, right? It could be even bigger than that. So I'm going to share my screen. Most of this I do from my phone because quick, it's fast, and it's pretty easy from the apps. And it's, really utilizing Facebook Messenger and Facebook. And you have to understand there's 2 different platforms that have 2 different purposes. Facebook's great for posting, sharing, commenting, etc. Facebook Messenger is great for dialogue and conversation, right? And because you can kind of historically see what you've talked about when you go back with that conversation with somebody. So very important to know the difference. To build a relationship, I build relationships in Messenger, but I also comment, share, and post on Facebook. There's 2 kind of separate things. So the 5 non-negotiables, and I'll kind of go slow through it so you can write them down, is 1, wish 5 people happy birthday on a daily basis. Now, if you have more, wish them all. If you don't, you wish whoever's got birthdays, right? Number 2 is start dialogue with 5 people on Facebook Messenger, okay? Number 3 is friend 5 new people on Facebook. Number 4 is follow up with 5 people, following up on a conversation, kind of picking it back up and going with it again, right? It doesn't just mean following up with someone that's tried the product or watched the business, just picking up a conversation and continuing building that relationship with somebody. And number 5 is following or get followed by 5 new people on Instagram. Today, we're really going to focus on the first four, the Facebook, and Facebook Messenger element. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'll show you how I do it on my computer, because I can't figure out how to do it on my laptop, but let's go here. Okay, now, all right. So as you can see my screen, so if you go in the search box, let's see, and you type in birthdays of my friends or birthdays today, it will show you, it will bring up who's got birthdays today, okay? So you can click here and put see all. And you can even see, so this is an old colleague I used to work with. His birthday was yesterday, so this is a message from yesterday. So I sent him happy birthday and asked him a simple question. Thank you, Paul. Now I'm asking him our question. But let's, I'll show you kind of how he got to that point. So someone that is, a customer or brand partner, I'll use this little box here and I'll wish Carrie a happy birthday. You can say more if you want to, but this is where I'll just do my birthday, okay? I don't know why I don't see the posting here. Let's see if I just press enter. Usually there's a little button that says post. Okay, so just press enter. Now, so Tim Sullivan used to be an old financial advisor of mine back in the day, right? So he's not involved with Miriam. So if they're not involved with Miriam, what I'll do is I'll click on message. And I'll wish him happy birthday through Messenger, okay? Happy B-Day, Tim. How are you? And so there's two things I'm doing here. One is I'm wishing him happy birthday. That's one of those 5 non-negotiables. Two is I started a conversation. I'm asking him a question, right? So there's actually 2 different areas of the 5 non-negotiables, right? So I'm hitting the first 2 right there. Happy birthday, start dialogue, right? Easy way to start dialogue with somebody you haven't talked to in a long time is a birthday. Another key area is our holidays, right? We tell, hey, how was your New Year's? Happy New Year's. How was, what did you do? Merry Christmas. How was your holiday season, etc. Those are not awkward ways to start dialogue, right? Now, the third thing we had to do is we want to add some more friends, right? So I will go to Tim's page, and let me cross these things out here. Running a little slow, sorry guys. Happens when doing Zoom at the same time. Then you can click on friend, which you can also do this. You can also do this, which is much better on your phone, right? So on your phone, above your friends, it would say all friends, suggested friends, or mutual friends, they would say suggested friends. On your phone, you always want to go suggested friends. Those are people that you're not friends with, but you and that person have a lot of mutual friends. So, and let's see. So, for example, Kevin J. Newman. We got 2 mutual friends between us, right? Here, let's go down here. Here's one. Derek Boss. I'm not friends with Derek, but I work with Derek. Perfect. We have 22 mutual friends. I'm adding him because I worked with them, right? So I'm using the birthday person to go into their friends and see where we have a lot of mutual friends that maybe I'm not thinking of and forgot at some point where they played a part. Scott Honig was the accountant to Tim who did our accounting, right? 33 mutual friends. I'm not friends with Scott. Now I am, right? So, or now I've at least sent the friend request. So that's how I pick up friends on a daily basis, using the birthday people and going in and looking at their suggested friends or finding who we have a lot of mutual friends that I'm not connected to. Okay, so that's 2 right there out of the first birthday, right? So then I can go back, and once again, I'll go back and we'll go back to birthdays today, and I'll do this, right? Now, so there's 3 things that happen right there. Wish the birthday, right? I started dialogue with Tim, and I found a couple new friends that are connected to Tim that I forgot about that I know myself too, right? And so I just kind of keep going down the list with those people. Typically, a lot of times, just with birthdays alone, I can find my 5 friends or more within the people I have birthdays. I start all those 5 conversations with the birthday people too. And the 4th thing was following up with, here, I'm going to stop sharing, pause sharing. We're going to stop sharing. Okay. It is following up with people, right? So then I just go in my Messenger app, and you can do this by plotting names in here so you kind of keep track of who you're talking to. But I would just go in my Messenger app, and I'd scroll through conversations, and I'd pick up a conversation wherever it left off. So when someone dialogues back with me, we'll kind of go back and forth, catch up. How are things? What's new? What are you up to? How's life been? Where you living? You have kids? And I slowly start to get to know them, and I kind of walk away from the conversation, and maybe a couple weeks later I'll kind of pop back in and ask some more questions or notice something they've posted and ask in Messenger about what they're posting, or if I'm going to comment on a post, I'll probably more do it in Messenger. Like, hey, so I went on vacation. What would you like? What would you recommend, etc. Right? And I'll kind of go back on conversations a handful of times before I even attempt to bring Miriam. And sometimes I even bring it up to me before that, or I go, hey, I noticed that you and your wife are doing well, or what's this new thing you're doing? And depending on it, sometimes I just kind of ignore the first thing because it's too obvious or played. It just jump when you have the first opportunity. And I really want to kind of build more of a relationship because I started to realize no one's going to care about you until you start caring about them and showing interest in what they're doing. So part of that relationship is to reconnect and rekindle the relationship you once had with somebody, or however much of a relationship was, really kind of building a new current relationship with that person. So eventually you can throw it in there. So after I've dialogued maybe 2 or 3 different times, and that may happen over weeks or a couple of months before I've kind of gotten to that point where I'm like, all right, I want to see if they'd be interested in trying a product out or watching a video. I want to make my first attempt on exposing Miriam with this person. I feel like we're kind of, we got some good dialogue, we got some substance there, right? So when I do make that attempt, I don't just fire a question off like, hey, if I sent you some of the free products, would you try them out? Whatever. What I do is I bring them back to the conversation. So I'll ask them something to kind of get them back into dialogue with me. And when they are actively back into dialogue on Messenger with me, that's when I'll pop the question somewhere in between. For example, I'll say, hey, I saw you went to Disney with the kids. How was it? What park did you go to? Oh, we went to Universal. We went to, Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom. What was your favorite? Well, the kids were like this. What would you recommend? Our kids are this age. We've never been there before, etc. And as we're going back and forth, I'm like, hey, by the way, I know I'm kind of off the cuff, but I'm looking for a couple people to try out one of our new products that we just got in. Like, if I sent you a free sample, you give it a run at it and tell me what you think. And they're right there. They're in conversation with you, so it's hard to dodge that at that point. And when I started doing that, I mean, almost every single time I was like, hey, sure, no problems, right? And it's funny because I started doing it, I was looking up in Messenger and realizing I had asked this person 2 or 3 times over 2 or 3 years to try Miriam without any attempt trying to get to know them first or reconnect with them first, of which none of them ever even got answered, right? So it was funny, as soon as I took time to kind of show interest in them and chat with them and then get them into a live conversation and then ask them the question in the middle of that, how easily it was to say, sure, no problem, I'm more happy to do that, right? What a change of events of building the connection first, building the relationship first, spending time doing that before you go and ask them to take interest in what you have to offer, right? And so I saw a massive, massive difference in doing that. And so this is something I do on a daily basis. When you think about it, if I friend 5 new people a day, maybe only 3 of them end up friending me. Well, as soon as they friend you, what happens, and I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see it on your screen, but I'll try to show it on Messenger. You see the little new right there? So when someone accepts your friendship, you get a little notification. That's always another easy opportunity just to go, hey, glad we connected. It's been forever, probably 20 years. How have you been? Like, it's just a simple question, right, to reconnect. And you can slowly start tipping away the conversation and building that relationship to eventually get to a point where it is comfortable enough to then ask them to check something out or share something with them, right? If 3 people accept that friendship, on average, 2 or 3, that's 60 to 90 new people a month, right? That you've added to your pool that at some point in time you knew of or had some sort of relationship with. When you start dialogue with people, wish people happy birthday, and maybe not everyone responds back, but even if 2 out of 5 respond back, at the end of the month, that's 60 conversations that are now happening, right? Month over month, you keep adding that up. It's amazing. I mean, I started getting notifications on Facebook going, this year you've connected to this hundreds of many more people. And what a difference. And the funny thing was I saw all the new customers and brand partners that were getting involved were people that had come from this activity that I reconnected with, not people that were really kind of pre 5 non-negotiables that I've been hammering around for 2 or 3 years, right? It was all new people that were taking interest, and I was taking interest in them first. And in return, when it came time for me to share something with, they were willing to take that interest and willing to kind of help me out, right? And so, out of all the things that we can do all day, this hands down was the number one thing, because it's all about engagement. It's all about engaging in your social network and really being able to capitalize on 100% of the people that you somehow cross paths with in your life, not just 5 or 10%. So if you think that your business has been somewhat limited or you hit the end of the road with it, I'm telling you, you are so far from it, you haven't even scratched the surface yet. And that's the sad thing, is these so many people that just kind of think they've ran out of steam, but they're not understanding the element of how to network and engage and build a relationship using social media, which is much different, but allows you to open up way more opportunities and move quicker and faster through relationships and engage and build relationships at a much bigger speed, because you don't have to see everyone in person. You don't have to reconnect with someone who lives on the other side of the country you haven't seen since high school 20 years ago, and find a way to connect with them. Now we can connect from everyone. We can reestablish relationships with anybody, no matter where they live, no matter how far away they are. You just got to take the time to start conversation. So some people say, well, I don't know what to ask them next when I kind of go back to the conversation. Go back to the post, see what they've been posting, right? And see if there's something to comment off there, right? Or see what's going on in current events. Ask them if they watch what's going on in sports, or news, or weather, or whatever. Like, you'll start to get good at figuring out good questions to get conversations going, to build that dialogue, right? When you start doing that, it will start to create tons of opportunities where you can start asking people to try things and bring them to that conversation first, get them in the conversation, and then ask them and invite them to something. So those are the 5 non-negotiables. Happy birthdays. Start dialogue. Find 5 new friends. Follow up with 5 people. And then build your Instagram thing. The only thing I'll mention about Instagram is a place where you can connect to those strangers, people you've never known, based on common hashtags. So when you are utilizing and posting on Instagram, the more different hashtags that you use, people sometimes connect and follow you because you guys have common interests, whether it's fitness, whether it's kids, sports, whatever it is. And next thing you know, when they start engaging or following you or liking what you're posting, it's very easy to just kind of send a message like, hey, thanks for acknowledging or liking my post, blah, 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 ask them a question. So Instagram is a great platform where you can take strangers and slowly warm them up to a point where then again, you can kind of ask the question. The overall really key underlying message to understand out of this is, if you're inviting or asking people to do things for you and there is no substance of a relationship or dialogue or engagement, anywhere in the short term period of time, those things are going to go, no one's going to catch it. No one's going to pay attention to them, right? Because it just looks so darn cheesy to try to ask somebody to try a sample product when you haven't even talked to them in 20 years or 10 years or 5 years. So a lot of people go, well, why is building a relationship, how is that going to help me make money? It 1,000% is everything to do with this industry and how you're going to grow your business, right? The most important thing you do is continuing to build relationships along the way. So hopefully that helps everybody. Daily thing, it's one of the first thing I do every single day. So get to it. It'll make a big difference. You'll see the compounding effect over, the first couple of months. Bye, everybody.